What's up everyone, I'm Sublight Drive, and if you haven't watched Star Wars Andor yet, you should pause the video and go do that. It should only take about 10 hours. Okay, finished? Sweet. I'm gonna build this ship, the Cantwell-class Arrestor Cruiser. I'm pretty pumped, because this is a ship with some history. It was originally designed by Colin Cantwell, who's also the ship's namesake. Cantwell built study models for the very first Star Wars film back in 1977. Basically, every ship in the movie exists today thanks to his modeling work. E.C. Henry has a great video I'll link below that goes into a little bit more detail. The Arrestor was originally a piece of concept art for what would eventually become the Star Destroyer. Although it wasn't chosen as the final design, it did make a cameo years later in Solo. That Arrestor, which you can see in Solo's deleted scene, was physically built by Alex Hutchings. His Arrestor is pretty different from the one in Andor though. The prow is flatter and narrower, and the bridge is a lot less robust. As far as I'm aware, there was no physical model made for the Arrestor in Andor. That said, I'd love to be proven wrong. Anyway, that's enough talk, let's get to building. I managed to pick up a second-hand model ship to supply most of the greeblies for this project. Whoever owned it before me had clearly started building it and then given up, so I'm happy to be giving it some new life. For most of these sections, layering is the name of the game. Even parts that look kind of bland can take on a life of their own with enough other stuff going on above and below them. Figuring out how to make the dishes was more trouble than I expected. My first attempt was using these empty Christmas ornaments, but they were just way too much of a pain to try and cut. Next I tried using this big paint palette, but it turned out that the plastic it's made of won't take glue or paint, like, at all. It was also a pain to cut. Finally, I found these at the dollar store. Toy kitchen sets, and the pan lids were perfect. They were even the right plastic for the Weld-On to weld. I went back and forth a few times on whether the dishes were all the same size or not, but I eventually decided that the lateral ones must be a little smaller, so I cut them down to size. Connecting the prow and the aft sections was a lot less trouble than I was worried it might be. I had to add what basically amounted to shims between the two halves because they didn't sit flat against each other, but with enough CA glue and baking soda to kick it and add structure, it'll hold just fine. The ship in Andor is never named on screen, but I figured that mine should have one, so I whipped up a nameplate. I think Paralyzer fits right into the Imperial scary verb naming scheme, like the Agonizer, or the Devastator, or the Thunder Once the nameplate was finished drawing, I was happy to call it good. Off-screen, I built a little Corellian freighter to provide a sense of scale. I estimate the ratio here is about 1 to 2,000, based on the size of the tie hangers. That means that the little guy is a bit oversized, but I think it gets the point across. This is easily the biggest model I've built yet, and I'm very happy with it. Working on such a big project meant that I had to spend way more time on detailing, and the results speak for themselves. As a parting note, if you want to try building models like this yourself, I sell templates and instructions for ships of my own design, which I'll link down in the description. It's the best way to support the channel so that I can keep making cool stuff, but liking and subscribing is a close second. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.